Hello, hello. Welcome to the red carpet. We're here at 360 of Opera, and today we're hosting a red carpet for Frisian Films and the premiere of their festival. Hi, B. Hi. Okay, so we're going to have four guests. This is going to last 1 hour, and then I want to see you all at the event that starts at 7 p.m. So our first guest is Ellie. Let's see. Hi, everybody. Tell us where you're tuning in from. Hi, Ellie.
Hello. Hi.
Beautiful girl.
How are you? I love your pink. It's beautiful.
I'm wearing, I should be asking you, but whatever. I'm wearing Vivinic. I also have my wine glass. I am ready for this. LA in the house. We have LA in the house. B. Goodwin is watching.
Hey,
Uh,
B.
so, welcome everyone. Please get cozy, get comfy, grab your beverage of choice. There we go.
I'm
So,
moving. No wine glasses for me, but this
exactly. So, our first guest is Elise Kakacek, soprano, founder of, co-founder of Frisian Films. So, why don't we start with what is Frisian? How did it start? How did we get there? Did we get here? Today is the second annual festival. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely, sure. So, about 4 years ago now, I can't even believe it's been that long, I got really annoyed with the whole audition scheme of like stand in front of the piano and make a video and send it to lots of people. I was just feeling like my creative juices needed to get filled a little bit better. So I went on a journey looking for a film artist who would be willing to work with me and make some arias into music videos. I
Mm-hmm.
ended up finding Ryan, and we just really clicked creatively. Like I don't think, yeah, it's rare to find someone who kind of meets me at my wild and crazy level and then says yes and what else.
Uh-huh.
So we just loved it, and it seemed to go very well with pairing classical music and film in a way that we kind of hadn't considered before. And so we had a coffee just to kind of recap our experience doing those short films, and we were like, I think that this is just the beginning of something. I think that we need to tap into this some more, because there are so many young, hungry artists out there looking to express classical music like in a more immediate way. I think that we're really interested in innovating, and I think our generation is specifically as well is looking for new ways to innovate as we move
Yeah.
forward from this year in particular.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of exploded into this whole family and community of people that are dedicated to the same things as we are. And we feel very blessed to have such incredible artists in our circle and continuing to be interested in creating with us. And actually, this is our third event.
Heard.
It's
Oh.
crazy. It's gone so fast. But we actually usually screen these events live in a warehouse in Brooklyn and have an audience. It's been about 75 people or so lately, or the past few years. And then we have like a community kind of talk back about the music, and
Mm-hmm.
it's film people, music people alike coming together and discovering things in a new way. So that's
Yeah.
a bit of what we do.
In a nutshell. So I want to make this point that this is not a quarantine project. This is something you've been doing for a while now, and you've had to adapt your format actually to quarantine style, social distancing style of producing and hosting a festival. So what can we expect from tonight? For anyone who doesn't know yet, tonight at 7 p.m. is the festival. It's free. Please join us. I'll put the swipe up link later. But what can we expect from tonight specifically?
So tonight, I think it's my favorite festival that we have put together yet. It's going to be a real treat. The first piece that we will be premiering, we have 3 premieres and one sort of premiere. It's a trailer that we did release on social media, but we have not released it officially in our screening capacity yet. The first premiere is actually our first fully animated film and our first commissioned piece. So it has a very special story behind it. I'll try to do the short version. One of our board members and fans, she was a fan first and now she's a board member, Carole, shared with me some of her late mother's artwork and poetry, and I was so moved by it. It's in French. She's from France originally. That I asked my now fiance, new fiance, to Nate, to set it to music as like a gift for her. And it turned into this beautiful piece that he wrote for 5 voices. So it's like a French art song, but instead of an accompaniment instrument, there's a 4-voice choir that does jazz chords and kind of French music-y chords underneath. And it became so beautiful. And I sent it to Ryan and we were like, you know what? We have to do something with this. And then we brought in Joe, who's our like favorite graphic designer, to take on his first project in fully animating something. So that's the first premiere. The second is incredibly dear to my heart. It actually began as a project I was just going to take on my own, filming in my apartment during quarantine. We filmed, I think it was April and May last year, the Nightingale Songs, which are 5 art songs by B. Goodwin and Russia Korean, sort of echoing the sentiments of what was going on during the Kavanaugh hearings in 2018 with relationship to feminism. And so these were created with Claire Townsend's artistry in mind as well. She sort of inspired the beginning of the creation of these songs, and then we decided to include her in the films in this end production that you'll see tonight as well. So it's this fusion of, and it's amazing. None of the artists were ever in the same room for this piece ever. So it was brilliant. Cool that we got to put it together, and also fulfilling in this time. But it's kind of like a collage, very experimental, abstract piece in the end. I'm so share that. And then the thing that I am just over the moon about is our most recent piece, Echo, Shostakovich in Catharsis, where the incredible violinist Kelly Hall Tompkins performs the Shostakovich Violin Concerto in A minor, the cadenza from that concerto. The concerto was written under the Stalinist regime, so it was written under an oppressive situation. And Kelly and our movement artist and aerial artist, Alexandra Peter, wanted to express this film in response to the Black Lives Matter movement, which they are both incredibly passionate about. So it's incredibly moving and haunting, and offers a lot of emotion and catharsis around things that I think we've all been sitting with extra this past year, and sort of depicts the change we hope to see as well. So yes, that's what you can expect today, and then we'll do some special encore performances from Will Liverman, who you'll get to meet here in a little bit. Another one of my favorite pieces that we've done, and then the exposure trailer. You'll also get to meet Sarah Lynn, who sang in that one.
Yeah. So wow, I can't wait. Even if I've been involved here and there, I'm just so excited to it. You know, I shared the trailer earlier today, so I'm sure people have an idea of the style, but I just can't wait to see the whole thing. And so I know you're completely overworked getting this ready, but are there any ideas of what's coming next?
Of course there are. Ryan and I are always just it's our projects find us. It works in a really beautiful way. They flow and they kind of ebb in. We have some very exciting things on the horizon. I haven't forgotten about your project that I want to get to for sure. He has a brilliant idea. I don't want to say too much because I want to save it for when we can film. But we have a collaboration going with some wonderful people called The Rose and the Knife, which is hopefully going to be in production this coming year. We're talking secretly with Will about a few things that I won't speak about yet either. There's a lot of secrets. I'll allude to things. And then the one thing that I can talk about that we're sort of sharing in this event as well is that the trailer for Exposure is the beginning of us putting together the full-length version of Exposure as a feature film. So a 90-minute opera, probably filmed in intimate spaces in New York once it is safe to do so, featuring the amazing work of B. Goodwin and Dan Felsenfeld. Which will just be, I mean, the piece is stunning. If you haven't heard it yet, I believe it's still up on YouTube from the audio performance. I would seek it out. It's incredibly heart-wrenching and deals with artistic exploitation, which I think that is an important and relevant thing, especially in the opera industry today, that's being addressed finally.
So I have a couple minutes left before our next guest. I wanted to ask you, how's the experience for you so far to collaborate so closely and so intensely with artists from all different, different kind of artistry, not just musicians, with Ryan, who comes from the cinematic world, but also now, each project has a wide range of different kinds of artists. So how has that been for you so far?
That's a wonderful question. I have learned so much, and I knew I was going to learn a lot. I think that as classical singers, we get so involved in what our job is because it's an intense job and there's a lot of work to do, that we don't always see clearly what's going on so many other layers of production in general. And that's outside of the scope of including artists from different mediums as well. So I was expecting to learn things about that. And Ryan, I'm so grateful for Ryan. He is so patient with me, and he has taught me so much as I've learned about production and learned about film. And he, in turn, has been so receptive from the music side of things. And I've been sending him annotated scores lately. It's our new fun thing. But as far as working with other mediums goes, it has been incredibly inspiring to me to witness that at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're doing it intentionally, it doesn't matter. I mean, we have a project with a henna artist who was creating a henna tattoo that we filmed, and it was mesmerizing because it was done with intentionality. And been very blessed that all of the artists we have worked with, that has been a common denominator. And I think that exists, and that's something to amplify within the classical music industry, because I think that's a powerful thing and tool that we all are cultivating that, the general public might not know that much about. And it's also been really amazing in our screenings in the past. And today it's so, the silver linings of COVID. And, I'm in New York, if you can't tell. But the weird, and I hesitate to say the word silver lining because it's been a really hard year for all of us personally, I think. But virtually, we get to reach a completely new audience. We're not limited to a group of people that can be in Brooklyn for our event. But something very special about our event that we hope to cultivate tonight as well was this sense of, you don't need a music degree to be moved by this. You don't need to know about fine art to be moved by the paintbrush that you see. You don't need to know about aerial dance. You don't need to know about animation. It's about the intentionality and the passion and the heart, and getting back to that, because that's where classical music came from.
Yeah.
And that, we call it the Uncle Greg test. We want Uncle Greg to love it. And so opening opening ourselves up to all these different mediums and collaborating with all different kinds of artists also opens our community to those artists and their people and their communities and the people that are what they're doing. And more of this, in the world. Is that
Exactly. And I mean, that's the most brilliant way to get rid of this exclusivity that so characterizes, opera and classical music that has not served us. And our generation is, seeing the results of that. And it doesn't mean we have to dumb down classical music. It doesn't mean we have to, you know, um, do it of less quality. It just means we have to do it more accessible by collaborating with artists of all sorts. Absolutely.
100%?
Yeah.
Actually, that reminds in Echo, we brought on this amazing editor as well named Celine, who I actually sent the score to her as well. So it's a cool thing about this too, because it's like, from her perspective, to receive something like that is probably overwhelming, but then we get to kind of connect and foster that sense of curiosity among art forms as well, without like this Shostakovich. The way the man wrote this cadenza is brilliant. The numerical patterns throughout the score are incredibly intense and very specific. And so Ryan and I wanted to be sure Celine was aware of that in a visual
Right.
way. Um,
Right.
and so it's exactly what you're saying, like not dumbing it down because someone's new, just finding a way, finding a new language for how to explain and
To
how to.
communicate it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ellie, for all your wisdom. I can see, by the way, everyone, Ellie is also the best yoga teacher I've ever had. She is my
Oh,
yoga teacher right now. And in everything you say and share, I just can feel that energy and that wisdom. And it's just beautiful. It's
you're gonna
beautiful.
make me cry. You're the wonderful student. So I miss practicing with you today. This is worth it.
So I have to move on to our next guest. Is Will here? Because I think, Will, if you're here, you have to request to join because I don't see you. Let's see. Oh, we have a lot of comments.
Oh, wonderful.
Guys, thank you for being here. I'm
Yeah,
catching up with all the comments.
me too. I can stay until we find Will as well if we need.
Yeah, so because I don't see him, because I can only bring him up if I see his handle, but I don't see it. So, Will, if you're out there, you just have to click on the, at the bottom right, you're gonna see like two little faces. So that's where you have to click to join us. Um, we love Will. We love yoga. I mean, we can keep talking. We have a lot to talk, but I want to make sure that if Will's out there, he knows how to join us.
Yeah, I would text him, but I'm nervous to leave the app.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, let's continue.
yeah, anyway, I'm here.
So
I can
I
just sing his.
actually do. I always have more questions.
Oh,
So is he there? I can't hear you, Ellie. We can't hear you.
can you hear
There
me?
we go. Oh, there he
Now can you
is.
hear me?
Yes, there's okay.
Okay.
Let me see
Oh,
if
good.
um okay, well, I see you, but it doesn't give me the option to bring you in. So click on the bottom right, the two little smiley faces, and request to join. Let's see. I don't know why it's not. Usually I can see, I can
Yeah,
also see it to bring people in. I don't know why I can't see that.
yeah. He texted me and mentioned, like, I think he sent me a screenshot. He was getting a little red alert that said he couldn't do it. So maybe if we
Huh.
keep talking and he can keep trying, and if it works, it does, and if not,
Yeah, I'm wondering if is it not a thing anymore that you can like change people who are talking? Guys, does anyone know?
You're stuck.
I've never had this problem before. Maybe it's not doable anymore to change the people who are joining.
Oh, is it possible? Should I leave so that he can try again? And then if,
I guess I can, yeah, I guess I can go out and comment. It's not ideal because then we'll have like 4 separate videos, but.
or no, I meant like, do you think it's because I'm still on that he can't also join?
Yes, that's probably
I'll,
it.
I'll leave, Will. I'm taking your spot.
Bye,
But
Ellie.
it's my fault. Bye.
I think we're all like really like tired and overworked. Yes, there it is. Okay, here we go. Hi, Will. I'm so sorry about that.
No worries at all. I was
I
like,
think we all had like some sort of like brain moment.
yeah, it kept like request, it's not working.
Right, it wasn't showing up because Ellie was still on. I forgot that
Oh,
she
yeah.
has to leave first. That makes a lot of sense.
No worries. No worries.
Anyway, welcome, Will Liverman.
Yep.
Thank you so much for being here with us
Of
today.
course.
So I'm going to move right along since now we're a little bit off schedule.
Mhm.
So first, I would love for you to share with us what is your involvement with Frisian.
Yeah, I first got involved with Frisian in about 2019, I think. Elise and I go way, way back to undergrad. We didn't go to the same school, but we were both in Chicago at the same time. And she, reached out and was telling me a little bit about Frisian and the vision, and wanted me to come on in some way, and so I did, and we did a performance. I recorded. They did a video of this spiritual "Don't You Weep When I'm Gone" that I had arranged, and it was beautiful how they captured it. And I got so much, positive response, and I love, even before I was, saying, with the vision of Frisian before COVID, they're committed to, and understand the importance of capturing classical music digitally. So we're increasing visibility and, broadening our audience base, and it's, you can see things in a different light when it's up close, and and take in art in a different way, and it's beautiful to be a part of it.
Absolutely. And now
Yeah.
you are also a member of the board, correct?
I am. Yeah. It's been a few months now, yeah, when I got asked to be a part of the board, and it's honestly my pleasure and an honor to be a part of this organization, and to help with the vision, and move this culture forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you recently released a new album. Could you
Hmm.
tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. It's called Dreams of a New Day, and it's been 2 years in the making. I first came to Jim Ginsburg, who's head of CD Records, and with this idea to highlight Black composers for their contributions in art song, because I feel that these Black composers contributed so much. Um, to classical music, and it's, I think, often overlooked. So I wanted to use my platform to bring some of these songs to life, and it released February 12th, and it's streaming on all the platforms. I woke up today and found out that it's #1 on Billboard for traditional classical albums. That was really dope to see.
Congratulations. I just saw that actually. Congrats.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
But I
wonderful.
mean, thanks to all of the, the support from people, and my friends and family, that was really supported this project, and it's really been great to see it out there and released, and yeah, check it out.
Yeah. Everyone, we're getting a lot of hearts, a lot of stars.
Mm,
Wonderful.
yeah.
So, you're baritone who's even before this whole thing, you were
Hmm.
singing everywhere, singing at the Met, traveling.
Yeah.
What has this past year been like for you, especially relating it to Frisian and this concept of presenting art in a filmed way?
Hmm.
Where do you see things going? How have you adapted to a new, more digital medium?
I mean, no, it's so important. And I mean, I've was recording things in the past, but since the pandemic, I've really realized like the significance of having a digital presence and creating digital art. Just because, like I said, it's of course, I as a performer, we all can't wait to get back to live performance. I mean, there's nothing that beats that energy from the crowd and working with people and the sound of the orchestra and getting in costume and all of that. But I hope one of the things that we take away from this pandemic is also with the live performance having a digital aspect in some way and investing money and time and energy into doing that for folks that maybe won't go to the opera, but like if you have it accessible. I mean, that's the thing. Young people, everyone has their digital devices like right there. YouTube, Spotify, all of these things, like people can just click and see something. So I think companies and organizations, should make an effort to increase the accessibility and visibility. And digital art is a great way. I mean, that's the way of the future. We have to really. I mean, I hope that's something that continues to happen when live performance comes back.
Absolutely.
Exactly, and new audiences. That's
Hmm.
perfect. Hmm.
Hmm. Absolutely. So, particularly with your project that you already recorded with Frisian, and I know Ellie told me that we can't say too much, but I still like exclusives. So
Hmm.
I'm gonna ask again to see
Okay.
if you can give us like just like a taste of what's coming.
Okay. Yeah. Along with this idea of increasing visibility and accessibility, I've been, and with what you're talking about, like during this pandemic, I've been able to be more creative and, arranging more and composing more. I got a chance to workshop my opera with lyric opera, and that was, an amazing experience to be able to tell new stories and not feel like you have to be inside of a box. Just because you major in one thing or go in this one specific field, doesn't mean you have to be trapped there. Like that can just be one, part of who you are as an artist. But like, I think this pandemic has taught me to really step outside of that and not be afraid to venture into other things that you are really passionate about. Um, so to answer, they outed us. Yeah. Um, no, I mean, I could talk a little bit about this project. It's very early stages, but I am excited to, work with Frisian on this new project that I've been working on with this during this time about the events of Emmett Till and his killing, and um, working to create a project that has a visual aspect and something. Yeah, it's just like kind of a digital one man
Mhm.
opera, and so tune in and stay tuned
I
for more.
like I like that
Yeah,
tagline. That's a good
yeah, yeah.
description.
Hmm. Yeah,
Wonderful. And
yeah.
for people who might have not known or haven't read about it yet, can you tell us a little bit about your opera that you just workshopped at Lyric?
Yeah, yeah, that's another one that's just been something that I've always, wanted to get started, and I slowly have been working with my collaborator, Kay Rico, who we went to high school together. He's a producer and was DJ out in New York, and I had this idea when I was doing a lot of Barber of Sevilles to take the story of Barber and update it into a black barbershop. Because that's another thing, that's another way we bring in new audiences. We tell stories that they can connect to and understand. Tell
Mm-hmm.
stories that they've lived to
Mm-hmm.
really, bring in diverse audiences. And so, we started working on the music in 2018. Just slowly, I'd be in his studio up until like 2 or 3 a.m. at sometimes, and taking the ferry to Staten Island. He's way out there. And 2019, we did a demo, and we were kind of working just to make our own, workshop. And so we raised money, and Lyric kind of came aboard um, during the pandemic when they lost their season, and they were looking for alternative programming.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so we were able to workshop this piece, and the music is, again, that idea of just making it accessible and understandable for people who may not have never seen an opera, but to bring them in with music that they know and love: R&B, gospel, funk, hip hop, barbershop, quartet. It's a fusion of all of these different styles that we're doing with this classical blending. And it's been really fun to explore and to see the piece have a life of its own. So we're excited to take the next steps and to, get it out there to the people.
That sounds
Yeah.
amazing. I'm
Hmm.
like already imagining things. That
Yeah.
sounds amazing. Well, that's our time. Thank you so much for joining us for all
Of
these
course.
insights. We can't wait
Hmm.
to see everything that's coming up.
Yep.
And we'll see you at 7 later
Yeah.
at the event. Thank you so
Awesome.
much, Will.
Thank you. I'll see you.
See ya. Now that we have the transitions down, I'm sorry guys about that. I completely forgot how this works. So our next guest is Sarah Lynn. Is Sarah Lynn around? Let's see. Oh yes, I see her. Thank you guys for all the comments. It's so exciting to see your excitement. Oh my Lord.
Hi.
You look so beautiful and I
You're
miss
so
you.
beautiful.
I just haven't seen you in so long.
I know. I think last time we saw each other in person, my hair was like up here.
Yes.
And now look at it.
So just for context, for people other than our opera family who's here, I feel like we are all our stage moms are here. Sarah Lynn and I go way back. I'm sure you've seen her around on 360. We did so many concerts together. We did an amazing opera by Felix Gerard and B. Goodwin together called Tabula Rasa, which you can watch on YouTube, by the way. It's a great watch. So welcome, welcome, welcome. It's so good to have you here. Why don't we start with you telling us how you are involved with Frisian?
I got involved with Frisian just this past year in 2020. Ellie and I were working on Exposure, the audio recording for Exposure with a group called Transient Canvas based in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
And Ellie right away was like, this piece needs to be on screen. Like, it's just built for the screen. And of course, her vision, she's got good vision.
Yes.
So after we recorded the audio in like June or July, we started recording our faces separately, and then Ryan and the team put everything together and made this really beautiful trailer that you're going to see tonight at the festival.
Mm-hmm. So can you tell us a little bit about, because I've heard things here and there of the just putting this together at a distance. Can you tell us a little bit what was your experience, and because most of this way of working was probably new for you.
Yes, very new. And I was away from home at the time. I was staying with family, so that was an added stressor of just like, how do I get lighting? Like, I have one microphone. How are we going to piece this together? I didn't have my stuff, my tools.
Yeah.
So Matt and Amy of Transient Canvas, a marimba player and a bass clarinet player, they recorded the backing track, we'll say, the orchestral part of the opera. And then they sent it to me and Ellie, and separately we imagined in our brains what the other was singing at the time and how they were singing it. And then we sang our part, and then, they matched it up together after we were done.
Yep.
So there was a lot of, we had a few phone calls, but like not a lot. I think we just trusted each other that we were gonna go, 150%, like we always do, into the drama of the piece. And we did the thing. We just recorded, it's music.
Yeah, yeah. And I must say, I don't care if you blush, but you two together, it's just the whole thing is so perfect for me, B and just you two together as people, as artists, but your voices, it's just, I don't think anyone else could do it. Like, for me, it's like the perfect casting. And I'm so excited that, now Frisian's going to be working and putting the full version together.
I am ready. I am so ready.
You're like, let's do this. So I want a little bit more details from that, if you can tell. What do you have so far as organization for that project? What's it looking like?
I honestly don't know. This is all Ellie. Ellie is the master. And Ryan too. I've actually never met Ryan, so this will be fun. I'll get to see him on here with you after. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
But I honestly don't know. Once we have vaccines and things are safe for us to be in the same room, and so intimately connected in the same room, then we will film.
Well, can you tell us exactly? I'm interested now. Can you, because not everyone knows what the story is about necessarily, can you tell us why you have to be so intimately connected?
Absolutely. So B. Goodwin wrote the libretto for this. We love B.
We love
B. And it's an adaptation of the Thomas Hardy, one of his novels. I forget the name of it. The Pursuit of the Well-Beloved. And she modernized it, and she wrote it from a female perspective. So there are 3 acts. First act is like New York City, 1970s, the Nixon impeachment, that like raw 1970s dirty, grungy time. Yeah. Act 2 is in the 90s during the Clinton impeachment, and then Act 3 is current times, Trump era. We get it. Yeah. There are 2 characters. So Aliana, I sing Aliana, and Ellie sings Emily. Aliana is an artist, a photographer, performance artist, and Ellie plays Emily, who is a model. And throughout each act, Aliana gets older. Like, it's the same person. So in the first act, she's 20. Emily is also 20. And we see that they're both at the start of their careers. The power dynamic is equal. They're on equal footing. They are vulnerable with each other, and it becomes physical, And when they're both 20 and on that equal footing, the consent between the 2 of them is very clear. There is consent for that physical attraction. And that physical experience, the sexual experience. And then in Act 2, Aliana is 40, Emily is 20. She represents that young model. Aliana is now like more established in her career. She has more power, more money. And when they start becoming vulnerable with each other, as you do when you're in the studio or creating music or whatever, like you share those artistic vulnerabilities. But this time, Aliana takes advantage of Emily, and she manipulates her, and it's not so clear if the consent is actually there. And And then again, in modern days, you know, Aliana is 60. She's well known. Everyone loves her. Emily looked up to her. And then there was this sexual encounter. And this time, Emily says, time's up, you know. And in the trailer tonight, which you'll hear if you tune in at 7 p.m.
Oh, everyone's
go get your
tuning in.
tickets.
I'm making it.
You'll hear Aliana ask, well, why didn't you say no? Tune in and you'll hear Emily's answer. But you can see how like this idea of consent becomes complex when there's a different power dynamic between two people working together. And it's prevalent in all areas of life, all businesses, all artistic adventures. Like it's there. And so many of us have had experiences like this, like even just a little bit, like we've all had experiences where someone who holds more power than we do have used us in a way that we just kind of, we don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Because we don't, because we want to succeed. We want the job, we want the gig, we want the promotion, whatever it is.
Yes, and this is as you said, first, thank you. That was so well explained. But this, as you said, this is something that's present not only in the arts, in all industries. And, you know, what our generation is trying to do is to start to dismantle these dynamics and to say that it's not okay. And to also voice it, because this idea of you're not alone is so important. And, you know, there's a lot that can be done directly with organizations and just, you know, saying things how they are. But the added layer that we have is that we're artists and we can also find beautiful and creative ways to communicate these issues in our art.
Absolutely.
And I think everyone involved with Frisian is doing that. And that's why it's so important, you know, the work they're doing, the work you're all doing. And yeah, I saw the trailer, but now I'm excited to see it again. And I can't wait for the full thing. So vaccines, hurry up, please.
Please.
Please. So I have a couple more minutes. So can you tell me quick, what have you been up to? I know you were away from New York. Did you come back to New York? Are you in New York?
Yes, I'm back in New York.
So how has this year been for you?
It's been crazy. I mean, yeah, I've been all over. So about a year ago, the beginning of March, I was on tour with a band that I sing in. And we had to cut our tour short, rightfully so. Like, we weren't going to be able to get into Canada or like come home from Canada. So we came home. And then once the hospitals started filling up, my mom got really concerned and she was like, please get out of there. So my husband and I went to stay with my mom for a while, and then we ended up in Montana, Kalispell, Montana, with my brother, which was a really lovely place to, I guess, just be with family. And it was a really lovely place to record the audio for exposure. Like, it was so ideal. I was in like a little cabin at the base of a mountain. There were chickens and ducks outside. Like, I wasn't competing with taxis and like sirens. I was competing with chickens and ducks in a mountain stream, you know? And then at the start of the year, we decided to come home because we miss New York. There's nothing like New York. So.
I know. Yeah. And for the record, for everyone watching, New York is still alive and busy, and we're going to get back to all our crazy things very soon.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Saralyn. It was so good to see you. Thank you for all your insights, and I'll see you at 7. We'll all see
Thank
you at
you.
7.
We'll see you. Bye.
Bye. So our next guest is Ryan, who is a co-founder of Frisian. Let's see.
How do I get out? Let me out.
Our transitions are flawless today. I don't know. How do you get out? Is there a cross somewhere? Ellie, can you tell us?
Okay, bye. I'm leaving now.
Bye. Oh, guys, this is amazing. The thrill of live TV. Okay, so our final guest is Ryan. Is he around? Let's see. Let's see. I clicked the X. Ellie. Ryan, are you on from your account? Let me see if I find you. Ryan. Let's see. Request. Send a request. Oh, there you are. I sent you a request. There he is. Let's see. Let's see. I'm getting a little circle. Oh, there you are.
Am I?
We have a little delay. Is it my internet? Are we good? Are we good? Is it my internet? Do you hear me? I hear you really cut off. I think it's Ryan's. Yeah, I keep getting a little wheel. Let's see. I see you now. I keep getting a wheel. Do you guys see him okay? Can you let me know in the chat? Frank. The suspense is palpable. Guys, I'm gonna take this occasion to drink a little wine. I still see Frank or B, you're both welcome to join. Ryan, I don't know, I still see like a wheel turning. Yes, he's sideways. I see you sideways and with a wheel. It's, I don't know. Do you maybe try getting out and getting back on? B, we're in family mode. It's fine. You can come. You can come. Yeah, Ryan, I'd say like log off and maybe we can try again because this is completely like paralyzed. Yeah. Okay. Okay, who wants to come on? P? Let's see. Yes, be it. We don't care. You always look fabulous. Did I just hear a dog? What is happening? He got it? Because I just requested B. Is it connecting? It says it's connecting. Let's see. Gunner. That was definitely Gunner. B, the people need you.
Can you see me or hear me?
I can't see you. I can hear you. I can't see you.
Oh, shit.
Are you there? Let me try again. Can you request to come in? Let's see if that works better. Yes, I want to hear about Nightingale. Let's see. If not, Frank, I'm gonna call you in. Where's B? I don't know. I don't see her now. It's just because I think this ends at an hour. So we only have a few minutes left. Let's see. Let's see if we can get B in. Let's see. Very strange, guys. I've never had these tech issues, but it's all good. Yeah, Ellie, if not, you come back in. We still have things to chat. Ah, B!
Remember the time the fates conspired against all of us?
What's happening? I literally like have never had an issue with this.
When I'm telling you, like, I was like, I'm in workout clothes. I'm celebrating that I worked out. Like, it's great.
I think it's hilarious because you asked me before. It's like, do I need to like? Am I gonna be on camera? I was like, no, just chill.
Well, yesterday I thought I was getting a root canal, and I was like, oh, I don't even know if I'll be drooling on myself or not. But anyway, hello.
Anyway, hello. Thank you for joining us.
Oh
So last minute.
My pleasure.
We have a couple minutes left because this usually cuts us at an hour. So please dive in and tell us about your pieces that are a part of this festival.
Yeah, these are super wonderful, exciting pieces that I'm like genuinely so excited about. And when we were chatting about Nightingale Songs, I had said before, I was like, not only is this like my favorite one of my favorite quarantine projects, that like it doesn't look like it was like, we made this thing. Like it looks like aside from the fact that we're all shut in our houses, this is like this beautiful thing. So Nightingale Songs, Rosha Kriyan is this amazing composer that we have been chatting on and off for a little bit, and they were like, hey, let's do something small together. And I keep a diary. I basically started like Trump day one keeping a diary, because I was like, shit's about to get real dystopian and nuts. And I just like, especially during this past year, I've been obsessed with like, I don't know, like just keeping like chronicles of like daily life, because like for some reason I think that like in like 60 years there will be like an artifact and like that will like come out of like my bedroom, and it's like, wow, this was day-to-day life.
This happened. Yeah.
So when I moved to California, literally 2 weeks after the Kavanaugh hearing started, and I hadn't had TV. Like I was like in New York, like I don't have a TV.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even have a bed. Why would I have a TV? So anyway, I started keeping a diary during the Kavanaugh hearings, and that's like what I would watch for some reason. And I had a lot, obviously, of feelings that what most, female identifiers did. And yeah, wrote a lot about it. So why I keep a journal too is like there'll be like one line that I'm like, I love that line. I'm going to take it out and send it over to Rosha. And they said it beautifully. And Claire, who I met actually around the same time I met Ellie, brought it to life visually. I see that Ryan is ready too. So I just want to just like wrap up with Nightingale and just say like, this is beautiful. And this is something that Ellie self-taped, I self-taped, and Claire did. And a bunch of us never even like were in the same room ever. I met Rosha once. Ellie and Claire never met Rosha. So yeah, it's just kind of like all these different minds from around the States coming together and creating this beautiful thing that we've all had this experience. Like Rosha's a non-binary artist. Claire, Ellie, and myself are women that had clear points of view on what was going on. So we were all having this experience all over the place. So we combined it into one, and it's beautiful. And I'm so excited. But I also want Ryan to talk because Ryan is.
Let's try to get Ryan
so
on.
I'm gonna press X, and then Ryan.
Thank you for coming in.
Doritos and all, y'all.
Yeah. Let's try. We only have a couple minutes left, but let's try to get Ryan on to at least say hi. So you put a face to the name. Let's see. Ryan, request. Thank you so much, B, for joining us and for that little insight. Ryan!
All right. That was all part of my plan to extend it, and I really wanted B in
walking in style. Well, we only have 3 minutes left, so speed of light. Tell me who you are. How did this idea come up, and what is your experience all of a sudden working with all these crazy classical musicians?
Yeah, so I'm a filmmaker, and a few years ago, I did some videos with Ellie, some personal performance videos, and that was like kind of my first foray into opera and classical music, and like through research of looking at other videos and classical music, I just kind of realized there was this huge disconnect with kind of what we do creatively in the film worlds and what is happening in classical music. And so we had done those few performance videos. We did a kind of at the time was an unofficial Frisian project with Liadaclito Amoroso, which we did with Ardella Bang, a dance artist, and with Ellie as well. And we kind of did that project, which mixed pole dancing and opera, which was pretty out there and was a lot of fun making it. And that kind of like it all snowballed from that experience. And, when at a certain point I went to Ellie and was like, what if we just kind of did more of these things and tried to just, kind of create classical music and combining different art forms and just creating stuff that was unlike anything else we've ever seen. And so I think a lot of what you'll see tonight is a lot of that. We have an animation, we have this kind of like created in quarantine collage like project that combines a cappella and, collage art making with Claire and Bia's diaries, and you'll see aerialist and dance art performance, amazing violin, just kind of a combination of a lot of different things. And we're really excited about the diverse repertoire of films that we created last year. And, we try to go bigger and bigger every year. And it's a lot of fun to take it to the digital space and bring all these different people from outside New York City and expose them to Frisian. So it's just been a lot of fun. I'm a little exhausted. So
I know you guys have been pulling all-nighters. How has all of that process been?
You know, you try to prepare as much as possible and try to, you know, think that, oh, we're ahead of it. We're ahead of it. We're thinking about this, thinking about this. But no matter what, there's always something that pops up, and, you know, but
Yeah.
we're kind of at that point now. We're over the hill and kind of just free falling down there and enjoying the ride, and
Diving in.
yeah, and
So this is not kicking us out yet. So I do have a final question. I want to know a little bit the story behind the name of the organization.
yeah. So at the time, I think I was listening to this podcast, Dissect. I think that's when I was first introduced to the term Frisian, and I was listening. That, you know, that podcast, they dissect albums over the course of one season of a podcast, and that particular one was talking about Frank Ocean's album Blonde, and there was a section in one of the songs where they talked about the Frisian that was happening and how these two melodies were, one was ascending and one was descending, and that kind of like opposite direction created that sensation, you know, when you get goosebumps and when the hair, that Frisian that you feel when you, like, you know, experience something that, you know, creates that sensation. And so I thought that was such a perfect term for what we were trying to do, combining classical music with these kind of newer, more now feeling kind of interpretations visually, and bringing in different art forms, and it sounds cool. You kind of get Frisian as you say it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was kind of where it was born, and, you know, we never really strayed from that name, and I don't think we're going to change it anytime soon. So.
No, it's perfect. And
We
now
got a great logo.
I actually got, for the record, I didn't know the answer to this, so I just learned with everyone.
This might be one of the first times I've actually told that story. I think no one really asked us how we got that name, but I'm sure we'll get that question a lot more as you read further and further out.
I mean, it's perfect. It makes absolute sense, and I think we're going to leave it there, because that was the absolute best conclusion for everything. I'm so glad we got you in.
Yes, so sorry for all the technical difficulties.
Oh, don't worry. We all had issues. I had a brain moment. It's totally fine. We're all family here. Thank you so much for all the work you're doing for this crazy month that we are going to enjoy the results of now. So thank you, everyone who joined us. Please, please, please come to the event at 7. I'm going to put a swipe up link in case you haven't yet registered. And I'll see you, Ryan, in a little bit in the event. Thank you so much.
Gina. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you. Bye. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much for being here with us. And make sure you're following FrisianFilms.org. And yeah, join us at 7 p.m. EST for all these amazing premieres, and to hear also more about the projects and all the artists involved. We apologize for the technical difficulties, but whatever. Such is life. It's a live event, and we had so much fun. And cheers. Mwah. Bye.